Treasure ship found. Captain van der Decken. Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman is the ghost ship and its captain that feature in maritime legends. There are many different versions of the legend, but the most common one goes like this.
Captain van der Decken is a Dutch sailor and quite ambitious. During a storm, he tries to cross the African Cape of Good Hope. Although he convinces the crew to surrender, he defies God and vows to bring the ship to port. God becomes angry and curses van der Decken. His ship is doomed to roam the stormy seas forever. Van der Decken is also immortal and will only be released from the curse if a woman loves him and remains faithful to him for 7 years. The Flying Dutchman's ship always appears on stormy seas and jinxes other ships. The appearance of the ship is a harbinger of impending disaster and bad weather. The origin of the legend dates back to the 17th century and is found in sailor legends in the Netherlands, Norway, and Germany. In different versions, the name of the ship and the name of the captain may change. In some versions, the captain asks a woman for help to get rid of the curse. The Flying Dutchman has been the subject of many stories, operas, ballets, and movies. One of the best-known versions is Richard Wagner's opera written in 1843. The legend of the Flying Dutchman is still known among sailors and some sailors claim to have seen the ship. But can a ship sail the seas for centuries? What happened to the millions of dollars of treasure on board? Did this valuable treasure travel with the ship? If the answer is yes, imagine finding this ship full of treasure.
On the trail of the treasure ship.
Google Maps satellite mapping is a system that allows us to search millions of square kilometers from our desk at home. Using this mapping method, as we travel around the world, we may have found the Dutch ship, the ghost ship, in short, the treasure ship, flying around a group of islands in the north of Russia, in the Arctic region. Let's start moving towards our target. We're going to visit a group of islands in the north of Russia. These satellite images seem to have been taken in winter. Snow and ice everywhere. We continue to approach the ice-covered island. We're approaching a bay where even the sea is frozen. An object between the frozen land and the sea stands out. An object held here by the ice of the bay and the sea. It's stuck in the ice about 20 meters from land. As we continue to get closer, the outline of the object becomes clearer. The nose is visible, there is a curved descent from the nose to the belly. The bottom, the cambered back, the flat section with the upper cabins and the sides very clearly show that this object is a large ship. The icicles flowing from the top of the ship with the rains attracts attention. The processing on the upper part of the icicle shows that this is definitely a man-made ship with a geometric shape. The whole section is damaged, and there is a large opening, in which it is very clear that there is something inside. On the deck of the ship there is a long object on the ground, possibly the remains of the mast. In addition, there are groove-like formations on the edges of the deck of the ship. It is understood that these grooves are nests suitable for putting cannons. A light shadow of the ship casts on the ice. The sharp edges on the ship are noticeable. The ship seems to be in very good condition except for the damage on the side. There are some protruding parts that we cannot understand what they are. When we look inside the shattered hull of the ship, large chest-like formations can be seen on the floor. The purpose of these hatches or crate-like structures may be to get down to the lower decks. When we look inside the shattered hull, it is clearly seen that some wood-like pieces are on the ground. The cannon channels on the deck are very well preserved. Stalactites formed by ice can be seen. The forward section is very well preserved. There is a long piece lying on the deck. When we examine the aft section and other parts of the ship, it can be understood that it is about 200 to 400 years old. I made this comment by looking at the exterior of the ship. The ship is in incredibly good condition. The nose and sides of the ship look very strong. Let's look again at where we found the ship. This is where the Gulf stress currents are carried northwards. If a ship were to be adrift in the warm seas, it would probably follow this route and drift north across Europe towards these islands. When we look at the legends, it is usually the Iskandiva countries that see the Flying Dutchman. Do you think this is a coincidence? I'll leave you with the images. The ghost ship probably drifted northward with the Gulf Stream currents while cruising the European seas, perhaps because there was not enough crew to handle and steer the ship, and was forgotten in this bay or deliberately left here. Whatever the reason, the ghost ship looks very intact. All the outlines are almost intact, but it is unclear where this ship is now. With the warming of the weather, the melting ice may have moved this ship again. Perhaps it is still cruising the northern seas. And where is the fortune in its hold? Is the ship cursed with this treasure? Ice viewers may think this object is a rock, so I wanted to compare it with another satellite image. We'll check the same area with 2 satellites. We have 2 images of the sea, with and without ice. We're checking the same area. As you can see, there is a ship in the frozen sea, but when the ice on the sea melted, the ship disappeared again and left the place where it was located. Let's watch a simple animation of a possible pirate ship stuck in the ice. The Flying Dutchman will continue to move forward in the northern ice sea with millions of dollars of treasure. Who knows, maybe you may come across it.